And I'm not making this up, but I do get a lot of people who often talk about Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, a bunch of other Asian countries for access to cheaper women. And when I say cheaper women, I'm talking about the dating scene, right? It's more affordable. The women are more reasonable in what they're expecting from a man. And you have, in general, your monies go a long way in trying to look for what you get from these countries. There's a big issue here, right here. And this is through several discussions I've had with a lot of people. A lot of people, and the age range that this channel is all about is 25 to 55. So the 25 to 35s are fed up. They're not finding the right women in Western societies. Guys in the US, Canada aren't really able to find any real relationships. So they are looking outside for dating and women options. A lot of Asian people too. They travel these days. They all have this fascination of traveling and finding women outside. So that's a big area right there. Then I get a lot of elderly clients who talk about how their spouse may have sued them and now they are pursuing their dream woman in the later half of their life. They have the money, they have the capability. All that's missing is that beautiful, Filipina or someone from Malaysia and stuff like that. Now, yes, I agree. There's some big advantages with these locations, but think about this more. Now, if when you're on your plan B journey and you're a passport addict, let's say, you want to grab every single opportunity to transform your residency into a real citizenship, right? You want to plant more flags, get more solidity, get more diversification in place. When you're spending your time in Asian countries that don't allow dual citizenship, the citizenship does not even happen in the first place. So yes, you're wasting your time, or rather, let's say, investing your time in trying to look for women in all these places. These places could be wrong places, because eventually, if your objective is to get that important citizenship, then you want to waste your time, right? You want to effectively utilize the same time to work towards your residency. The whole marriage-based immigration, I don't think that really works. So your target should not be that, right? If you're already in a marriage and your wife wants to file for you, that's a completely different scenario. But looking for immigration opportunities is the last thing you want to do. But when you're genuinely dating a woman, trying to help, you're feeding the masses in some cases, and you're genuinely trying to find the love of your life, you want to effectively optimize your time. You want to convert that time into real, tangible output, right? In the future, you want to get the citizenship. So what are some of the bang for the buck options that you can look at? I think a couple of places I wanted to discuss which could be better opportunities to look for more people, smarter people, hardworking people, traditional women who really want to settle down in life, have more children. And yes, the Asian countries can provide you with those benefits, but then as I said, the time on the ground is not leading towards your citizenship. You're essentially wasting your time. Let's say you don't find the woman, then what happens? You wasted maybe a couple of years screwing around. And when I say screwing around, having fun, whatever you're doing in these countries, eventually if that does not lead into a real relationship, then you've just wasted your time in those countries not obtaining a citizenship. Now, when you're talking about obtaining a citizenship, you can spend the same amount of time, same amount of efforts, same amount of monies and resources in the countries that matter. When I say countries that matter, it means the countries that will effectively give you your citizenship at the end of the day, if that's what you're looking for. And the top picks over here, I'm going to discuss a few options. One is, if you're looking at the Balkans or the European region, then I would definitely look at Serbia. All right, so their policies are changing. There's some interesting programs in Serbia. There's also the citizenship by exception. It's not for everyone. Again, you're interested, you can always do a private call. We can discuss if that's the area you're more interested in. But Serbia is a good location where you have access to a lot of interesting women who are traditional in a lot of cases. Also, what you're saving on is the monies, right? You're affording more in that country because it's a lot more cheaper. Again, you have some banking advantages in Serbia. It's that interesting non-Western country which has access to the wider region. So you have some distinct advantages over there. So when you're dating, let's say in Serbia, you're not only dating and investing time in finding that beautiful woman that you have been waiting for, but also if that does not happen, plan B to plan B, you got other advantages that you're taking full use of when you're in Serbia. A lot of people would like to think that that they're going to find many women in Brazil and Argentina. Well, I don't think so. Life is tough, right? You don't want to be fighting with the wrong guys in those countries, right? Yeah, you can find women. Even what a lot of people horribly get wrong is the whole Colombia dating scene. They feel it's very easy to knock a woman off there, but you might get knocked out, right? So you got to be careful with what you're doing where. Brazil, Argentina, Colombia is not everyone's cup of tea, right? Strong men, strong situations out there. If you are someone with some money, then you got to be careful of what you're doing in those countries. You don't want to land up in the wrong place doing the wrong thing. You can completely screw yourself up over in those countries. What I would rather focus on is a couple of countries which make a lot more sense in the Latin Americas. I would personally feel Mexico has access to wonderful, amazing women in every parts of Mexico. They're hardworking. They have to work for a living. They're traveling. They're working hard. They're looking for opportunities, and they're beautiful women. The only thing that's missing is some people don't speak in English. So it's better for you to start working on your Spanish, right? Get started, learn the Spanish. Take full advantage of your abilities, right? You can use that for your citizenship later down the road. But while you're dating, while you're seeking a beautiful person in Mexico, you're also utilizing your time on the ground to then work towards your citizenship if that is something that you're looking for, right? And what options do you have? You want to learn all the options, the safety, security situation in Mexico. You might be looking at the wrong places thinking it's a hellhole or some sort of shit. It's not. It's a very safe, beautiful, amazing country. If you've missed my coverage on Mexico, you can return and take a look at this video. This talks about the whole thing with my attorney, my journey during the night, different neighborhoods within Mexico. So you can return and take a look at it. It's pretty amazing country, very safe with great women inside of Mexico. The second on my list would be Bolivia. I know it's an odd-off situation. A lot of people are thinking, not Bolivia, not my cup of tea. But I think there's some distinct advantages inside of Bolivia. The first advantage is, let's say you're finding a partner. It's one of my favorite picks for a getaway. If you have missed my coverage on this one, you can return and take a look at this video. This talks about more interesting facts about Bolivia and why I feel this could be a perfect escape route for a lot of people. Just want to take a break, just want to release all the tensions, then Bolivia is an interesting option. You have a smaller community, a more closely knit community. The main difference between finding someone in Mexico versus Bolivia is because Bolivia has a lesser population, it might take slightly longer, but if you spend the right amount of time, make the right kind of friendship, then you might find someone that's more rewarding, that's more long lasting. It might take slightly more time than it would take in Mexico, but then Bolivia gets in some unique, distinct advantages which could be beneficial in some other way. Now, these are just a couple of options. I'll be covering a whole lot more content. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, take a moment and subscribe right now. A lot of people aren't even aware of their subscription status, so check if you have subscribed or not. Make sure to subscribe. It helps you keep informed with all the latest changes and developments within the RCPI domain and helps me get you useful, important analysis and more content. And if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed. And if you haven't watched this one, make sure to check this one out right now.